Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are doing pretty good. Thanks for watching the last video. Thanks for subscribing to the last video we posted. And I hope so many of you have learned a lot from that. So today we'll be doing another simple tutorial for our upgrade and beginner student. So like you have to partition the hair into what you want to do. And like I said earlier, all you have to do is comb thoroughly. You section the hair into different sizes you want to work on. You try to section the hair gradually. You comb thoroughly in order to make the tangled part loosen up. So you clip the upper part of the hair down. So you pack the other part of the hair you let down. You pack them together and you comb thoroughly as well. So having done that, you just make sure you don't have a tangle part in it. So all you have to do is keep combing just to make it loosen up properly. Then you get your jam, like I said, you apply the jam to make it smooth and slick. So use your rubber band to tie the hair bundles you have down. You use the elastic band to tie it over and over just to make it firm. So doing, you just make sure everything is perfect. You can see how I had to roll it over number of times just to make it very firm and tight. Then you add another pin to clip it down. Then you take a little part of the weave to tie the elastic band in order for it not to show. By so doing, it's a yellow elastic band, but so you have to be very careful about it. You have to tie it down. You spray on it. I use different type of spray. I'll be showing you guys what the spray looks like over time. So you spray just to make it stand firm, and you make sure there's no part of the band that is showing. Then you have to pin down again. So having done that, all you have to do is comb the hair thoroughly as you usually do. Then you take a bun, and probably it's come in a circular form. So you cut and open into the shape you want. Make it like a U form. Then you pin down on the hair you're working on. You make sure you use a bobby pins to pin thoroughly in different places. So you're using as many pins as possible just to make sure the bond is firm. You have to make sure the bond is firm enough for it not to fall off, because you assume you're working on clients, not as a mannequin. Because imagine you're working on a bride and the bride has to dance all day. So that means the bond has to be very firm. So you have to be very sure the bond is firm. So mind you, you don't have to manage the pins you're using to work on this. All you are doing at the end of the day is to make sure this bond doesn't fall off, regardless of wherever or however the client you worked on will be dancing or moving. You can't restrict your client's movement. You can't restrict how they go here and there. So you have to make sure you check both sides that the pins are properly put in, and make sure when you are pinning, you don't pin the scalp of your client. Make sure you're very considerate in doing that. Just make sure it's quite firm out. Okay. So you spread the air packed into a bun. You spread over the bun. You comb thoroughly to make sure it's probably spread upon the bun. You know you're having a black bun underneath. So whatever you're doing, you just have to spread the air to go over the bun properly in order for the bun not to show. And make sure whatever you're doing it as neat as possible. You spread thoroughly over and over. Just make sure you take your time. You don't have to be in a hurry no matter what, regardless of how long you're taking. Just make sure you do this, you practice. So you sure to have this at the back of your mind that you're actually practicing this thing. So you don't have to be in a hurry to learn this. Just take your time. Make sure you get everything properly. Do step by step. Take it slow and steady. And trust me, you're just going to get it at the end of the day. So you just don't have to be in a hurry to get it right. I know it's appeared easy and very direct, but on the other hand, just make sure you know what you're doing to make sure everything is okay. So by so doing, you apply your jam again, you rub into your palm, then you take the other portion you already took out, you comb out thoroughly. Just have it at the back of your mind that whatever portion you're doing, whatever you're working on, you are combing this thing out, this hair out, rather. Okay, so you don't have a tangle part in it. So I'm trying to do a crisscross that just comes. It's quite simple and very easy to work on. It's more of a simple start for beginner. And if you're actually an upgrade student, you can actually do this too. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to be very extraordinary at a time, but at times all you have to do is make your job very neat and simple. I preach very neat and simple, like it has to be from simple to complex. So you just have to apply your jam, then you comb thoroughly as well. make sure the portion of air you are working on is something you can actually handle easily. So as you can see, I'm trying to make sure the one at the center is equivalent to the both sides. So all I have to do is I make sure I don't have any tangle part. So I pin down on this very place where I place my hands because I don't want it to be flying. So I can add as many pins as possible just to pin it down, just to have that feel I want, a very sleek feel. So as you can see, having done that, I spread up on the bun again just to make sure it's very neat. It doesn't appear like it's coming from one particular angle, so it becomes very smooth and it just sinking directly into the bond I've already had before now. As you can see, all I have to do is just comb over and over again. So I take the other portion from the left hand side, apply my jam over it, comb thoroughly to have everything smooth. So all you have to do is keep combing and make sure there are no tangle parts in this. Then you clip down just to hold it so it doesn't fly back. Then all you have to do is take to the other part of it, like is that going to the opposite direction of where you're working from where this particular portion is coming from. Sorry, my videographer wasn't really paying so much attention, but I just hope you get these things right. All I'm doing is just make sure it goes on down in the bone, and I have to comb. You see, I'm trying to use my comb to secure these things. So just make sure you put those hair underneath the bun. Make sure it goes into it properly so you can have a very sleek view. As you can see, the parts are coming out. I'm trying to make sure everything goes back under the bun. So you take the other portion which is coming from the right hand side. You comb thoroughly as usual. You apply your jam, you rub your jam into your palm. Then you comb thoroughly and probably apply on the hair. So all you have to do is make sure these things are quite sleek. Just make sure you know what you're doing properly. Then you have to make sure there are no tangle parts in it. Then you use your method of clip. Use your clip to secure the hair as well from the other end, so it doesn't move to the other part where you don't want it to get to. So by so doing, all you have to do is make sure you comb and place. You probably spread on the other part of the bun as well. So you make sure you clip properly so it doesn't move beyond the point you want it to get to. So all you have to do is make sure you use your comb to spread the portion of that hair over the bun. By so doing, all you are trying to achieve is to have a very sleek bun. You know, it's coming across each other like a crisscross. So whatever you're doing, just make sure you push the hair underneath the bun properly. Just make sure whatever you're doing, make sure it's very neat. At the end of it all you're trying to do is to have a very sleek bun. At the end of it all, you make sure you push the hair underneath the bun properly over and over. Just do this repeatedly just to make it perfect, and it's a continuous practice. So over time you're going to get this right. Then make sure you use your pin to secure the portion of hair underneath the bun. You make sure you use as many pins as possible so that the hair doesn't fall off regardless of whatever you're doing. Be sure of all these things. You have to cross check repeatedly to make sure you don't have any portion coming out. Use your bobby pins to secure it underneath the bone. So by so doing, you have to make sure the pins are not showing. So you look thoroughly through it and you make sure you use your pin to secure this underneath the bone. Make sure there are no part of it coming out. Now, if you see any portion looking like it's not being smooth, all you have to do is use your comb to comb it thoroughly, repeatedly, and you do the same thing with your pin. You use your pin to secure it underneath the bone. And it's quite simple to get this right, and it's quite simple to get it wrong. But just make sure you know what you're doing. You spray thoroughly over it just to make the flyaways lie low. Make sure whatever you're doing, you're achieving a perfect bond. No matter how simple it comes, no matter how easy it looks, make sure you're satisfied with whatever you're doing. So by so doing, if you're done, you can take the clips off. By the time you are sure you already achieved the style you have in mind. So I believe with this, it should help every beginner and even upgrade students to get better with their craft and all they are doing. It looks simple and easy, and I will enjoy you guys to practice so you can be perfect. So all I'll be looking for is a beautiful video of you doing this. And always remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. I'll be looking forward to see you next time. Thank you.